Hello and welcome to another episode of the program Point of View. Together with me, Idris, and as usual, just like last week, I have with me joined on the program Anayo. Anayo,
Thank you, Idris. Good morning.
good morning. Always exciting to have you join me on this conversation.
My
A
pleasure.
couple of things really happened over the week, and topical of them is that which looked more like a witch hunt of members of the ADC. A former governor of Sokoto State who was invited, and former speaker also at the same time, House of Representatives, was invited, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. We'll be discussing on that. Also, we'll be looking at how the federal government has dropped charges, against Miss Comfort Emerson, who already, I think she spent her first, night, I think, at Kiri Kiri. Well, we don't know what really happened, possibly because she rubbed off the benefits of, what the tragedy, the sad incidents that happened with Kwamwan, who ended up becoming an ambassador. So having that conversation too. NYC denied Rai's service completion certificate. I guess every action comes with a consequence. And after that, National Assembly members receive money to sponsor bills. And this allegation is actually coming from a member, House of Representative member. So we'll be wrapping up that conversation there. But to begin with on the conversation, first, the ADC is having a coalition of opposition makers, opposition, members coming from different parties, jumping on the platform. But it appears that the APC isn't really just, looking back and just ignoring these people because we can see the anti-graft agency and jumping up from nowhere and dusting up files of people who already might have some certain things in the past that violates, financial rules as set by the EFCC. Did this come to you as a surprise? Some say that the EFCC just simply does the work of a witch hunt. We've seen Senator Bala Mohammed since the allegation came, Accountant General of that state. He's been quiet. The governor has been so obedient. He used to attack Mr. President. Is this going to be the silence of Tambuwal?
Well, it didn't come to me as a surprise. This is just the old song and dance. It's been there since 1999 when President Obasanjo came up with most of the agencies you see today were created by the first administration of President Olusegun Obasanjo. Um, First, the question should be, is there corruption to fight? The answer is yes. Are there public officials who should answer questions? The answer is yes.
Definitely.
Should the EFCC do its job? The answer is yes. On the other hand, where should the EFCC start? The question has to get an answer from EFCC. EFCC has to start where it has to start. Now, most of those who are going after are people who held public positions, public office holders in the past, politicians.
In the past, sounds like people that lack immunity at the moment.
Yes, especially those that had immunity then, but now lack it. That is on one side. That's understandable. Do they have to sit and wait it out, wait for so many of them who are currently in service or who are currently, for instance, in National Assembly to finish before they start work? The answer to me is no. So they have to start from somewhere. But that is not to say that you can't find bits and pieces of, questions. One of the questions those who think that this particular action of the EFCC is biased is that why three prominent members, well, three prominent politicians who can be said to have a soft spot for ADC. One, the former governor of Sokoto State, now a serving senator, who has not shown any, disregard for the coalition. The former president of the Senate, David Mark, who himself is the interim chairman of the coalition, ADC.
Yeah.
Former governor of Imo State, Emeka Ihedioha, who has a soft spot for the coalition. Why the trial at this point in time?
Why now? The time?
Why now?
That's,
That's what they're saying. So you can't say that doesn't have meaning. It does. So it's something you have to understand. The EFCC can be accused of bias by the opposition. The EFCC can also say, look, we can't stop fighting corruption. So it is now to know where to draw the line. But I think that the ADC's position that these actions were targeted at them and that it was politically motivated should be taken into consideration.
Should be taken.
Yeah.
You feel that there could be a little bit of politicization in the actions of the
come
EFCC.
to think of it, the individuals involved are politicians. And
but the anti-graft agency is just an agency of government.
That should fight corruption.
Yes.
So it's
not chase the opposition.
Yes. Now, it's left for them to decide where to start. They may have, you see, you can start fighting at any point in time. You can start looking for those to question.
The last time they started a fight, and we heard that the former governor of, I think, Ifeanyi Okowa
was invited.
Yes, he was invited.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he jumped ship. They brought up the case of the former vice president, Namadi Sambo, about electricity discos, deregulation and sales of, assets of the PHCN, I believe, as at that time. And all of a sudden, there's defection. So you are coming after the opposition. You threaten them with anti-graft allegations.
Yeah.
Then those persons defect to the ruling party. And the moment you step into the ruling party, you tend to just have this immunity from nowhere. That's the perception of Nigerians.
That is what
the EFCC saying that's not what they're doing, but that's what they feel.
Well, you can have your take, and the Nigerians can also say this is what we think. We come to think of it, Idris, if you are appointed as the chairman of EFCC, and you have a whole lot of people to go after, and some of those you are supposed to go after could be those you think work with the person that appointed you. First, I mean, common sense says will tell you begin with those who are very far from the man that appointed you.
So
but that's not to say you won't go after those that are close to the man that appointed you. So that is why we need to have these people appointed independently. People have said, look, the chairman of EFCC shouldn't be appointed by the president. The same with INEC, same with the central bank governor. So we can have total independence. So people can question the rationale behind every decision. You will just be, simply stupid to go after those who are very close to your boss. That's not to say you won't fight them later.
Yes.
Maybe when your boss is done and you're still the chairman or another person comes on board, you go after those guys. So that is the way it is. And that is politics.
So there's still politics, even, when it comes to the functions
Yes, I'm
of
not
the
saying
EFCC.
any particular person he's after is close to anyone. But I see this is a normal way. If you're thinking, if you have an appointment, you don't begin to eat on your toes or your fingers. You begin with what
Political expediency, you just wouldn't do that. That would be a political suicide for his career as the boss of the EFCC too, no matter how ambitious he is.
Yeah.
All right, now quickly jump into something else. During the week, we saw someone, a celebrity in this country, who had the courage, the faith, to stand in front of a jet and stop the jet from taxiing off a tarmac. I don't know what inspired that, but not long after that, within the same sector, we're talking about the Nigerian aviation sector, a lady had a face-off with other flight attendants, basically who were on that board. Ibom, because the first one was Value Jet, next was Ibom Air. Well, ended up in slaps and good content for social media where she was dragged on apologies because that was very indecent. Those videos are out there. She was taken to Kirikiri. Less than 24 hours, the charges was dropped, coming from reactions. Then the person who committed the offense with a no-fly ban that was supposed to be for a lifetime became an ambassador. What do you make of this story? Right now, I'm thinking maybe I should go create some sort of chaos. Maybe I might just end up being a brand ambassador for the government.
I don't know where Nigerians got the idea of this false ambassadorial designations, making someone an ambassador when the individual should be sweeping the streets and doing community service. We've had big timers in the United States, in to the likes of I can't remember the name now. A big time artist in the U.S., the guy that was always beefing with Michael Jackson, the not very tall guy, um, did community service for something that wasn't really worth it. Now, where did we get the idea of making people ambassadors when they flout the rules or when they mess up a particular system? Well, I don't know where the idea came from. Now, drama. Kwan Won actually apologized,
Yeah, he did.
and and then all of that died down. Suddenly, Emanson Comfort's case came up, and there was hullabaloo.
Because people felt it was selective
Yes,
justice. Peter Obi spoke about it.
yes, a lot of Nigerians.
Yes.
We had someone on Democracy Radio, who an aviation lawyer, who told us point blank that should this case continue, Ibom Air is going to pay big to
Damages.
Comfort, damages. He mentioned sexual harassment, intimidation, and all of that. So, and then again, the politics came. People wanted to know why it was a different case for Kwan Won and now something different for Comfort. The outcry was big.
Yeah.
And,
Why wasn't Kwan Won taken to prison?
Yes, and
And it was so
the
quick.
speed with which Comfort landed in Kirikiri. Kirikiri is
Like-
actually at the back of Navy Town in Lagos. Not a pleasant place to go. My growing up, what I know about Kirikiri was the execution of criminals. So when you hear Kirikiri, that picture comes to my mind. Back at
Yes,
back of
death sentence.
So death sentence. So it was as
And
bad as
one would wonder the role of the NCAA, the Nigerian Civil Authority establishment there. They are saddled with the responsibility of regulating, affairs within that particular sector. All of a sudden, someone is being dragged to a prison without us seeing the report, the proper report. It was later on that we heard that the report was being put together by the NCAA and sent over to the minister. And the minister took the final decision. But why was all that decision about taking out security done without going through? Is there any procedure within that system?
there should have been a procedure addressed, but the speed with which Comfort landed
Didn't
at
sound
Kirikiri
like
prison,
those people
like,
went through a
it was
procedure.
premeditated, and
Yeah.
I think it was anger, either shown by the ministry. Don't forget that the minister had warned after Kwan Won's own case that the authorities won't take it lightly when an individual goes to the airport. Airport is a port of egress for every country, especially most of the airports now that may be international. So the minister warned, and then it happened again.
No.
So it was what quickly, maybe the process of going to court was fast tracked. I mean, to serve as a deterrent to others, but it backfired because people cried out, if you're going to do this to her, what happens to Kwan Won?
True. I think that was the reaction. The backlash came.
Yes.
She's been offered a job, 500,000.
Kwan
monthly.
Won's apology came via a televised, it was a televised apology. But as far as I'm concerned, it looked very cosmetic and dramatic.
Okay.
It was like he rehearsed properly, faced the
No
camera,
remorse?
and delivered the apology.
No
Maybe remorse as an afterthought, but it wasn't real apology. It was a well-rehearsed apology on TV. And,
It's voluntary.
voluntary, yes.
That's
but
that's
it
becoming an
didn't
ambassador,
look
which means he's
real
not going to be
me.
paid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that ambassador position
Now,
has been given.
the ambassadorial position,
he's
I
not
think,
going
I
to be
think they
paid.
also, the minister had to come back again
Yeah.
to say, look, this job is for free. We're not going to pay him. But Nigerians wanted to know what this ambassador will earn, what his duties will be. Would he be at the airport, telling every passenger, behave well at the point of entry. When you alight on the other side, please do behave well. What will be his job?
Maybe he will be on billboards, flyers, anything that's got to do
Okay.
with the Nigerian aviation sector.
Okay, billboards, right?
Yes, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, as an ambassador, that's what
As an
brand ambassadors
ambassador
do.
who had misbehaved, but now encouraging others to behave well.
And he's doing it for free because normally, all these big companies, they pay
The
money for that.
story tell that to the Marines. We'll get to whether it will be free or not. But I think the
Are you
minister was
saying I should
quick.
tell the minister?
No,
It's
no, I said
interesting, actually.
Marines. Now, the truth is that the minister came out to say, look, we're not going
Yes.
to pay him.
Yeah.
He's doing it's like community service.
Yeah.
But I know community services are not very palatable. You'll be given a broom in the United States to sweep the streets, and people will come around, take pictures of you, and then,
In this case, he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
All right, jump into another story. Right, the controversial young lady, NYC core member, never liked Lagos, filth, doesn't smell nice. Well, somehow criticized Mr. President. Nigerians reacted. The likes of VDM came in support of her. Several other, even Showare, I think, of recent coming in support of her. Now, she's supposed to complete her NYC. Her mates came, picked up their certificates, discharge certificates to leave. But hers is not ready. Why? Because she has not been able to meet up with the requirements of completion of the NYC service. Some people feel that this is a victimization coming deliberately within the NYC. Some said it's because she has not really been able to meet up with her, this monthly clearance thing they do at the LGI. She's not been able to do that. Well, there are debates about that because she said she went there to do the clearance for that particular month, but the person, the LGI who was there, kept telling her to go to the last position on the row, and then she was told to get out. So, what do you make of this thing? Is it that the moment you are a member, especially now that she's a government property, as we usually say, NYC members, you can't criticize the government, and if you criticize the government, would that automatically translate into victimization within that particular institution?
Well, I think there's a similarity between Raye's case and that of Emerson, and I'll tell you why. The authorities overreacted, right? And when you react that way and then begin to, come back, it doesn't make sense. You maybe wanting to impress someone, you take an action, and they only to come back and say, no, it was a normal thing. Raya said, look, I went for a clearance and wasn't attended to.
Yeah.
She wasn't absent. She made it clear, reportedly, that she went for a clearance
Yeah, she
and
did.
someone asked her to stand up and go out. And when you hear that, that's typically Nigerian.
Yeah.
Someone not wanting to be told, like, why did you clear that girl that said something nasty about Mr. President? Who was the one that cleared her? Let's find out. Then you begin to get punished.
It sounds very Nigerian. So
It's typically Nigerian.
It's
I
hard
mean,
to
we're all here. We
dispute her, yeah.
didn't come from Mars. This is Nigeria. So it's smacks of overzealousness, eye service, if you like, that such matters. Don't forget about the issue in Delta State when the nurses were singing, and someone made a post, and quickly the authorities suspended that particular student. And the wife of the president went in and said, look, we don't need to do that. So Nigerians are quick to take actions so that they can be said to be doing their jobs. More often than not, the president or the wife do not really know about these things and do not really care.
they don't care.
It's just the overzealous
okay.
civil servants who want to be seen. And see, if you don't take such actions, those around them will say, look, but it's under your ministry that someone said something nasty about Mr. President and you didn't say anything. That becomes a problem. So you see
So
people
they'll do that to save their seats.
yeah,
and
so
their
you see
position.
people taking decisions, taking actions that may eventually turn out to be very embarrassing. And when you meet Mr. President and the wife, we're not aware. You remember what happened in Delta?
Yeah.
The lady who had the letters were quickly written, suspension letters,
Already.
published online, and somebody now later retracted and said, so that's in Nigeria. That's the way it is.
I don't know.
That's the way the cookie crumbles here in Nigeria.
But I'm just thinking, going forward, for young people, especially those who are serving,
Yeah.
should we say that this is not advisable for them to criticize government publicly? Because usually they go on social media.
I'll tell you a funny story. You see, under the military, when I was a youth corper,
Yeah.
were in Benin who felt the food rations were not enough. So as coppers, we just decided to do the slaughtering of the animals, do the cooking, and
Yourself.
serve ourselves.
Whose animals?
No,
Belonging to the school.
yeah, in the camps, you're
Okay.
giving
Yeah.
cows to prepare food.
Okay.
So it was, then it was seen as some kind of rebellion. Then
course.
secondly, there was a party, so we were invited. The core members were invited to the officers' mess or at the Kenwa military, Kenwa barracks, military barracks. We went there as coppers and we drank beer from the bottle. So we were arrested and made to sit throughout the day till morning.
Was it as core members?
Yes, we were arrested. And
Why?
because we drank from the bottle. Now, when we thought it was a joke, and in those days, what you do, you sing the old to express your disaffection or displeasure.
Yeah.
You sing this national anthem today. If you sang it then, it was rebellion.
Oh, okay.
So as coppers, hot-headed coppers, we sang this national anthem.
As a rebellion.
Then, and then we were doubly arrested. And I had a soldier point a gun at me and said, look, amongst all of these gentlemen, you are the youngest, so I should treat you differently. I said, look, the next time you see me in the city, take to your house. And I was already doing all that until I left Benin.
So it's like a jealousy in core members?
Yeah, if you're a core member, I understand that part. If you're a core member, you're just part of, it's a paramilitary training. You should behave that way. But then, a line has to be drawn between what you do as a copper and then expressing yourself.
Well, she expressed herself.
She did, and it was out of frustration. It was out of frustration. I mean, well, we don't
She doesn't seem like a lady that.
We have it on record that
she doesn't seem like a lady that comes from a poor family, though. For someone who will be complaining about 70,000 minimum wage, we know that.
But that's all right. If she left her home and in a place where she can't afford to, by the way, your parents are supposed to lay hands off you as soon as you become a copper. That's the point where you become independent. But you can't be going home from your place of service to take rice and beans from home and then to cook in your area of service. So,
yeah. Well, we're hoping that maybe going forward, young persons might be just more constructive in their criticisms, and I don't know. Some people just have the blood of activism.
But well, you see,
if you have the blood of an activist, you can't just.
Yeah, but these days, this is an era of versatility. This is an era of openness. This is an era of, I told you what happened to me in Benin and other guys.
Yeah.
This is an era where you can't stop people from talking.
Yeah, they will.
Social media is an era where you are your own interviewer and your own presenter and your own resource person. You can go back home, set up your system and talk. So it's going to be difficult to stop people from talking.
Yeah,
they can talk in a hiding place and then post it out and you see it. And you're not going to find them very easily. Yes, so it will be difficult.
The social media has made things a lot more easier for people.
And then when you say being constructive, today people will see it as a infringement on their rights.
Because you just want to express themselves.
Yes.
Why would you
just
have to
like we saw the singing of the old national anthem then as to
self-expression,
Yes.
So rebellion.
It was rebellion, and it was under the military.
You have been working, covering, different proceedings within the National Assembly. Well, we're hearing, even though this is coming from the Green Chamber, that bills are being paid for. This is an allegation that's coming from a lawmaker, and that's from Jigawa State, saying, it came as a reaction to criticisms from his constituency, saying that he has not been doing anything. And we know that the House of Representatives come up with so many bills to a point that, there's this face-off between the House of Representatives and the Senate over the number of bills, that they produce. But for this particular lawmaker, he doesn't basically do anything. So his constituency had to react, to that. So as a way to save his face, he said that the reason why people pass bills is because they get paid 2 million naira or 3 million naira, and also to read that on the floor, you get paid 1 million. I don't know how true that is.
I think a lot of people will not believe this particular lawmaker. That bills are paid for. Well, you have private member bills, except he's saying that people lobby for their bills to be passed, which is normal in the legislative process. If you, first and foremost, you have to come up with a bill.
Yeah.
And coming up with a bill is a quite different thing from emotion.
Yeah.
Motions are easy. You can do your writing and then come up and talk. You can even you can raise a motion without having it written down. Verbally, you can raise a motion and say, I'm raising a motion on this matter, and then, but the bill, you
It's
have
just
to
to take the
factor
minds
in
of people
the
towards a
financial
particular issue.
implication.
Yes.
You have to be detailed. You have to be sure that you're not coming up with an idea that has been there before, that will make the process of passing that bill wrong. You have to do something that you know that Mr. President can put his pen
on it. And
so it
append
becomes complex. So that's why you see.
In its
That's
research.
why you see, it's a little bit difficult to come up with bills. The emotions are there everywhere. If you said paying, except you can pay someone to draft a bill for you, because that you're a lawyer.
Yeah, there are
that
people
you have
who-
been. Yes,
who do
there are
that.
experts.
Yeah, they're experts who
who draft
draft
bills. Who do
bills,
that
At nails.
You get taught how to draft bills at nails. So it's not cheap to come up with a bill.
Well, I'm just surprised.
Yeah, but so
Yes.
or is he saying that he pays? People are paid to read it. I didn't get that point. That's really not right.
That's what he said. That's what's in the story.
You put well. I don't want to.
I think I read that leadership newspaper as of
Yeah,
yesterday.
that people pay to have their bill. Yeah, you can pay someone to draft a bill for you. If you pay him 10 million naira, that's from your pocket.
But it sounds like the lawmaker.
Except-
He's talking about the lawmaker himself.
Yeah.
That they get paid to come up with bills and present it on the floor.
Okay. If that
3 million naira.
I don't
plus
think,
1 million for presentation on the floor.
Now, he didn't say who pays the lawmaker.
No, he didn't say that.
I don't think that is correct, because
If this
I
is
think it's
false,
lobbying he's referring to.
if this is false,
Yeah.
then that would be a great disservice to his people.
Yes.
Because this is misinformation.
Yeah, if he says, listen, there's something you can do about bills. If, for instance, there's a bill to amend a particular, for instance, you want to amend institution A, and the commission, or maybe, okay, for instance, if you're a medical doctor,
Yeah.
and there's a bill to, they want to amend or alter the health, assuming there's a health act. The medical association can say, look, because you're a doctor and you're in the, could you please help us push this bill?
Okay.
That's lobbying. As a
All
medical
right.
doctor.
Oh,
Yeah,
I understand.
because- yes.
Yes.
So
because
you
they can't come like as individuals, but they
No.
can come as individuals through CSOs. I like that.
Well,
CSO.
no, the CSOs can push the bill. I mean, CSOs can't just sit
But
in
they can't
National
be
Assembly.
sponsors of the bill.
Yes, you have to give it, come through a lawmaker.
A lawmaker.
The CSO can is not a lawmaker, so he can't
Yes.
bring but he can push a bill. For instance, the bill that we spoke about the last time, allowing women to go, is being pushed by the CSOs and women groups.
So they pay
But
the
through
lawmaker.
a lawmaker. So a lawmaker that is, I don't know, they don't, a lawmaker that, for instance,
Because I'm just thinking where the money comes out from.
the chairman Senate Committee
Yes.
on Women Affairs can be the one to handle. That's why these committees are created.
Yeah.
The group can say, look, I think that's that's Senator Ireti Kingibe, for instance.
Yeah.
Push this bill on women's rights for us. She stands on the floor
I
and
think
defends
it's
the.
Kafiat. That's House of Representatives.
Yes.
Kafiat,
So
Kafiat, yes.
I don't know what he means by paying. I'm not saying it's impossible, because I just told you something.
Yeah.
If, for instance, I'm a medical doctor and the medical association wants the, they'll come through me.
It's a sponsorship. We know name sponsor is there.
Yeah.
That the lawmaker becomes the sponsor of the bill.
That's right.
However,
so
he's
but-
talking about the payment of
Yeah,
money.
but why the payment? That's why I should ask him if I see him. And because they've not resumed, I'm sure a lot of people.
Is he making excuses for incompetence?
Well, I don't want to say that.
I know, I'm
Because
just asking a
recently
rhetorical question.
we had Mr. President say no. Look, for 7 years, we're not going to create universities. It was like every
That's more like
lawmaker
an
in the National
executive-
Assembly
Yeah.
could only come up with bills asking for the establishment of tertiary institutions. Cheap. We want establishment of University of Idris. Please establish University of Anayo. Cheap bills
Yeah.
that didn't, take them time.
With the
So I
number
think
of,
in fact, we had so many bills on establishment of universities. But with Mr. President's decision to say, look, for 7 years,
Yeah.
we're not going there.
whatever
I
the
think they find other
whatever the
routes.
issue is, I feel with the number of bills being generated at the House of Representatives, it's possible that we have got reasons why we have those numbers of bills being generated, and the Senate, refusing, on
No,
their own
there
end.
was no that has been no that you see, both chambers are very busy. What the House said, look, we have so many bills. There are 360 members of the House.
So they have a lot of
Yeah,
bills coming
yeah,
up.
yeah. So a lot of bills come out from there. Even some of the bills that were initially said to have been ignored by the Senate came from the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So the Senate said, no, we see the bills. You concur out. There needs to concurrence. No one chamber can take the bill to Mr. President.
Of course.
So I think
There
that
has to be
was
concurrence.
explained. The Speaker, the President of the Senate explained it during the 2025 opening week. I said, look, we have no issues.
It's just
Then
about but ensuring quality of it.
Yes, that was what the leader of the Senate said. Yes, we have the same thing to do, same job to do,
Yeah.
but it's not garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, exactly.
He is
what you
not
said.
by
Yes.
that. He's not saying that bills that come from the House of Reps, representatives,
all garbage.
No, neither. So, there's need to say something that has quality to Mr. President. We've had Mr. President take a look at bills and say, "Look, what's this?" The bill on to alter one of the agencies came before him and said, "Look, this is a poor job. Please take it back." That way.
Yeah.
So
So
the
have
national,
checks.
the checks. But from what you said, this particular lawmaker,
I intentionally don't want to mention his name,
because
but from Jigawa State,
people
yes.
will use it as a campaign issue. I said, you got there, did you move motions? Did you say
That's
anything?
what-
So the lawmakers are also under pressure to come up with bills to look, legislative and look good.
You're not just there for
So, but-
representation,
yeah, so
you're
in
there
the-
for
in the process,
legislation.
in the process, there will be pressure. And then you come in with wishy-washy bills that may not see the light of day.
True. Okay, wrapping it up on this conversation, what would be your suggestion, especially you have been a reporter in the National Assembly for a while. How do you see the issue of generating, having the number of bills determining the quality of a particular, house, or let's say Senate, like the 10th, now we're talking about 10th Assembly.
Yeah.
Should the number of bills be the major determinants or indicators, KPIs, for assessing the performance of a particular assembly?
Well, there are executive bills and there are private member bills. Like, for instance, the tax reform bills came from the presidency. These are executive bills.
Yeah.
So, but how it's handled, how like what the 10th National Assembly did,
Yeah.
they were able to take the bills to the people for proper understanding. Make people, because initially there were pushbacks. So look, what's this?
Yeah, a lot.
So how bills are managed is determines how good a particular session is. It doesn't matter the controversies. It doesn't matter what happened. But
It doesn't matter the number of bills.
Yes, it doesn't matter the number of bills,
Okay.
especially the executive bills that come. Those are the ones that priority are given to.
All right.
So it doesn't take, and I know that maybe in the future, the 10th National Assembly, particularly the 10th National Assembly,
Yeah.
will sit back and say, look, we passed the tax reform bills.
Yeah,
It's a big deal. Yeah. Because
Because of all the controversy and all that, but they
Yes.
managed it well.
Yes. Then you also talk about the Electricity Act that was signed into law.
Yes.
Right? So there are quality, it gives some kind of bragging rights.
To the assembly.
Yeah, each session will tell you we did this, we did that. I think the 10th National Assembly, in spite of the distractions and controversies, can say, look,
Of course. we
this
can.
session passed the tax reform bills for Nigerians.
True.
And others. There are others.
All right. On this note, we'll be wrapping up the conversation today. It's always a pleasure having you on Pod of View, Anayo.
Thank you so much, Idris.
Thank you. And also to our dear viewers, wherever you are, would like to urge you to follow our social media handles. Join us, YouTube, Instagram, all of our handles for more of this to come next week. I've been your host today, Idris, wishing you the best of the week ahead.